Yes, these 8 fragrances do what the title says they do. Their scents are so nuanced and distinctive that they literally transport you to other destinations in your imagination when you smell them. At least they do for me. But even more practical than that, these fragrances simply capture the mind. They keep you coming back for more, for another close-up sniff, just to try to better understand what you're smelling, because it's affecting you in such a positive way, in such an impactful way, that you just can't get enough. But you can't place why. Every time you smell it, you detect some new layer or facet that just gets you more excited, makes you more interested, and honestly just makes you smile. I think that's the biggest telltale sign of a transportive fragrance. And like I said, I got 8 of them to share with you. They're gonna be linked in the video. So how about we dive right into it? This first one here is no stranger. This is a seminal fragrance in the industry. This one took the world by storm. It's such a special fragrance. There's been nothing that's really done what this has done. This is Ganymede from Marc-Antoine Barrois. Again, nothing new. It's been cloned to death, it's been hyped to death, but that doesn't stop me from wanting to continue to give this fragrance its flowers. It was through a friend that I actually discovered this fragrance, so thank you, you know who you are. And it blew my mind. I'd never smelled a fragrance that on one hand came off so simple, but on the other hand, so distinctive and unique. And I like to paint the picture, at least for me, this may or probably won't be your experience when you smell Ganymede. But to me, it just makes me feel like I'm inside of a luxury vehicle, some kind of high-end luxury car, beautiful, supple leather seats, wood grain, metal, top of the top. But again, that may not resonate with all of you guys, and that is definitely not what this fragrance is intended to represent. It is intended to pay homage to Ganymede, which is the largest moon of Jupiter, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the largest moon in our solar system, period. The metallic celestial wonder and mystery of a distant celestial body. That's kind of what this brings to the table. It has this minerally freshness. It has this almost metallic sharp edge to it, but it's also kind of smooth, musky, and leathery. There's a beautiful suede leather accord. And honestly, I can easily say this is one of the absolute best executions of synthetic fragrance materials bringing a natural and transportive experience. It is mind-blowing. Now, that being said, it's also very polarizing, so you may not like this, but if you like it, you probably will really like it. But it's okay to be in the middle too, because that's what I'm talking about, where you just keep coming back for more. You don't know what you're smelling, you don't know why it's affecting you the way it is, but you're interested and you keep coming back to try to dissect it and understand it, and maybe that grows into liking it more, maybe it doesn't. But either way, I think that's what great perfumery is supposed to do. It is supposed to kind of challenge you. It is an art form after all, and yes, it's practical when we wear it, but it should challenge you a bit. It should make you think. It should introduce you to ways of thinking or experiencing that you haven't experienced before. Not every fragrance will do that, and they don't all need to do that, but when it happens, it's really special. Ganymede is definitely one that did that for me. Very transportive. I want to know what you think. If we're going to talk about transportive, we got to talk about my guy TLTG Reviews and his newest fragrance in collaboration with Zaharoff. He calls it Sun-Kissed Island. I don't know when you're seeing this video. It's very possible that by the time you're seeing this fragrance is gone and you'll never get it because it was a limited run and it sold out. But if you are still watching this and it's still available, guys, you need to get your hands on this before you can't get your hands on it anymore. This is, again, a beautiful execution of a transportive nature. And what I love about this fragrance is that Ross and his perfumer Claudir, they had kind of a bold, adventurous objective with this fragrance, which was to create a tropical fragrance in a crowded market of tropical fragrances that stands out and that is not like any other one. And I have to say they hit the mark. I've seen some people comparing it to this or that. And yes, if you put coconut and booze and solar-like notes in a fragrance, it will remind people of other things, but it is its own thing. It carves its own lane, and I think primarily because of the nuances here. No, it's not just sunscreen. No, it's not just coconut milk. There's a little bit more substance here, and I love the texture of this fragrance. It has, yes, this sweet, creamy, floral, almost aquatic coconut vibe that is thankfully not too forward because I'm not a huge coconut fan. And this is just the right amount of coconut because it makes sense to have it in a scent like this. But the tequila in this fragrance, that first blast you get is just invigorating, it draws you in, it is captivating, and it wears, again, sweet, floral, again, creamy, boozy, but it starts to get warm on the skin, and it also starts to get kind of sandy, almost in the way that this cap looks. There's this almost like sand on skin type of texture and scent to it as you get into those deep stages of the dry down that are utterly incredible and what really make Sunkissed Island special in this crowded market. This is one that is so transportive, so nuanced that you don't have to just wear it in the summertime. In fact, it's supposed to depict more of like a summer evening on the beach. You could wear this in the winter because, first of all, it's pretty potent, and second of all, if you need to escape in your mind, if you want something uplifting that makes you think of warmer pastures or just the beach or something that's different from your current environment, if you are in a cold place in the winter, this is a great tool for that. So again, I could not leave out Sunkissed Island. Transportive is the name of the game with this fragrance. Stunning work. Let me know if you've tried it. This fragrance is always a little bit of a tease to include because it's not easy to get. It is an exclusive fragrance. It was crafted for the city of Miami, and it is only available outside of Miami for like 1 or 2 months of the year every year. Beyond that, you have to go to the Labo boutique in Miami to grab this fragrance. This is called Tabac 28. This stuff captured me from the time it came out. I got a sample, I think it was 2018 when it came out. I got that sample, I babied that sample for, I don't know, a year or two, until my wife actually gifted me with this bottle. And I've had this bottle for a while. I wear it sparingly because it's very expensive. I don't plan on replacing this. Even when I run out, I probably won't get it again if I do run out of this because it's so expensive. And honestly, I think it's a little overpriced, but the scent is beautiful. It is so authentic. I love the boozy tobacco. It's spicy, warm, there's rum, there's definitely this earthy, dry, kind of smoky leaning tobacco. It really does transport me, and I've said this in many past videos, it transports me to a beautiful balcony, maybe at a villa at sunset. You got your cigar, you got your authentic Cuban rum. It's beautiful. You're taking in the warm night air. It's so transportive. It resonates with me. It may not resonate with you, and that's okay, because it is kind of a simple scent. There's not a whole lot of moving parts. It does it very specifically, but it nails it for me. And it just kind of goes beyond liquid in a bottle when I smell Tabac 28. If you happen to have been one of the few who've tried this, let me know what you think. Imagine sitting at a table in the wintertime in a cafe. You're looking out the window, you can see the snow on the ground. You've got a cup of black tea in front of you, freshly poured, a little bit of smoke coming off of it. You're looking at the black liquid, you can see maybe some mint leaf floating in there, a little bit of raspberry, and even a little bit of spice. That is Russian tea. Russian tea paints that picture for me that I just described so clearly. I see the cup of tea, calming, soothing, warming, but also kind of cooling at the same time, sweet in a very natural way, and just robust, just in front of you, just capturing your senses, whether you're smelling it or drinking it. It's captured in this bottle. It is so well done. I do believe it's Julien Rasquinet, who is a phenomenal perfumer. I love his work. He nailed it with Russian tea. It's very specific. It really paints the picture that I described. I think I did a pretty good job. It's particular, so I don't wear it all the time. When I really want that vibe, especially in the fall or winter, that's when I'll reach for Russian tea. I can easily say this is so transportive, especially for this fall and winter that's upon us. I can't wait to bust this out at least once or twice. Again, don't wear it all the time, but the 1 or 2 times I'll wear it during the cold season, it is so special. It just captures me. Let me know if you've tried Russian tea. If you haven't, again, there's going to be links in the description or on the video to check it out for yourself. So check it out for yourself. Classic here, classic fragrance. And I don't know what the current formulations look like these days. I believe it is still available. I don't think it's discontinued, but I know they've changed the bottle, at least. Timbuktu from L'Artisan Parfumeur. This is a classic. Bertrand Duchaufour made a masterpiece, timeless masterpiece. It transcends any point in time. It is truly art in a bottle, but wearable art, I might say. It's a woody, smoky, fruity fragrance. There's a dry, incensey smokiness to it. There's this unripe kind of green mango, so it's not a sweet fruit. It is almost sweet. It's kind of getting there, but it's not quite mouth-watering sweet, which is great. It's a great addition. And there's a dry, woody texture as well from vetiver, maybe some papyrus. It makes me think of being out in the desert at dusk in front of a campfire, and just like the vastness of the dark desert or the darkening desert around us. And we're just here, we're huddled, we're sharing stories, whatever it is. There is a little bit of a cooling nature to the wind as it's settling into nighttime. That's the picture it paints for me. You probably won't get that vibe, but at the very least, I think it will capture your senses. Even if it doesn't paint that clear picture, there's enough nuance and dimension and uniqueness here that the first time you smell it, you're just gonna keep coming back because it simply has not smelled like anything you've tried before. What a special fragrance. Let me know if you're a fan of Timbuktu. Let's take a trip back to the beach, but this time the Mediterranean. And not necessarily coconut, sunscreen, booze. No, we're talking about a different experience. This is walking along the coastline, the sea foam lapping at your ankles, the sparkling of the water. The sun is still pretty high in the sky. The air is cooling, a little bit salty. That is the vibe that I get out of Greek Keys from Sarah Baker. They sent me this bottle a number of years ago, and I sure hope it's still out there because this stuff is so beautiful. It is so well done. I think the note breakdown, which I haven't looked at in a while, doesn't really give you an accurate picture of what this actually smells and feels like. It really does smell like the way I described it. It's an experience, it's an accord. Everything is blended together as one. I get this almost creamy, watery sea foam vibe. It just smells like the air off of the water and the foaminess of the surf as it washes up on the shoreline. It is maybe not gonna knock your socks off or blow you away. I wouldn't even say it smells all that unique, but it does smell very special. It smells very authentic. It smells very specific. It's not trying to capitalize on anything pre-existing. It is trying to paint a picture that is only itself, and I think it's so well done. There's just this muskiness that wraps it up. I don't know. It's so special. I've always loved this stuff. I don't wear it enough. You're gonna see I have too much juice left in this bottle. So I need to bust this one out. Even as we get into the cooler months, I really kind of miss my window wearing this in the summer because I simply forgot about it. But I'm happy to pull it back out for this video. That's Greek Keys from Sarah Baker. Let me know what you think if you've tried it. We've got another cult classic. This is a hidden, loved gem. People who've been around for a while know this fragrance because it was hyped around the time I got into the community. The hype was relative because today the community is just massive compared to what it was when I started and when I really got my nose on this fragrance. You don't really see people talking about this today. This is from niche house Ineke, and this is called Field Notes from Paris. Admittedly, this is the only fragrance I've tried from the house. As much as I love this, I'm ashamed to say I haven't tried any of their other stuff. I'm sure they have a lot of other great things. But this one, I think it does try to paint a specific picture that is kind of being in a cafe or some kind of cozy place. You've got your notepad, you're writing, you're studying, you're sipping maybe some kind of warm, cozy drink. That's kind of the vibe that I think they're going for. I could be completely wrong about that, but I can say, yeah, I do kind of get that vibe. But it is a cozy fragrance. More than anything, I can say this is a fall, cozy, great, casual, but unique fragrance. There is this sweet, almost honeycomb-like vibe, or it's like a beeswax, something honeyed about it, but not too sweet. I think there's tobacco blossom, which I couldn't tell you what separates tobacco blossom from other blossoms, but there is this kind of posh, denser floral quality that fills it out that doesn't necessarily smell floral or like flowers. It just adds this dimension to the scent that affects it texturally. There's some spices, there's some woods, maybe a little bit of leather. It wears kind of light and inviting, but also warm, cozy, and deep, but not heavy. It's such a special fragrance, and it transports me in my mind, maybe not with a clear picture, so to speak, but just capturing my senses, making me come back for more, and just loving what I'm smelling and loving the way that I smell when I wear it. Very practical art, once again. That's Field Notes from Paris. If you're a fan of this one, I want to know. And our final fragrance. Wow. One of the most authentic fragrances I've ever tried. It smells like you're out in a winter forest. Maybe the sun's going down. You've made a fire. So it's blazing, there's smoke, you're smelling the fir, pine, or just the green coniferousness of the trees around you. There's a certain mentholic, almost freshness to it as it blends with the cold winter air. It's very smoky, but kind of fresh and cooling all at the same time. Very unique here. This is called Winter Nights. And yeah, you see this color. This color is very indicative of the scent. It is dark, but again, not heavy. It really does smell like you're out in the forest by a fire. It's so smoky and woody, but at the same time, kind of calming and inviting, because it smells like you are seated and you're relaxing and you're reminiscing, or you're just observing and taking things in. There's nothing super highly energetic about it. It is more of a sit back and reflect type of scent. It smells like the picture it's trying to paint. That may not necessarily be something you want to smell like, and admittedly, I don't wear this all that often because I don't always want to actually have my body smell like that. But even just spraying it on the hand or smelling it from the atomizer is such a special experience. And obviously, if you love it, you might as well wear it, especially if you get a bottle. But if you're looking for something different, if you want to push the boundary a bit, if you want to push your comfort zone or your envelope as far as the fragrances that you've experienced up to this point, get your nose on pretty much anything from this house. But Winter Nights will do all of the above. It will challenge you in a beautiful way. I want to know if you've tried Winter Nights, if you've tried anything from Dasein, and if you tried any of these fragrances, let me know in the comments. Once again, they're all linked. I hope it was all clear. I want to know.